Making sure that we have the right people in the right positions to make sure that there's safety and accountability. And we want to make sure that our deputies are safe out there and that we're doing everything we can to provide them with the equipment they need, with the training they need to be safe. The county I serve is about 520 square miles. Population is close to 400,000. It's one of the wealthiest counties in the nation. It has the lowest crime rate just about in the entire Washington metropolitan DC area. And from what I understand, according to Forbes magazine, happiest county in the nation for 2 years in a row. That was a couple years ago, so I don't know if they're still as happy as they were. But it's the home to many breweries and wineries, and that may have something to do with that. But we actually do have a very educated county. I would say that the county, about close to 60% of the population, adult population, have a bachelor's degree or better. So it's an educated county, and it's a county that understands and appreciates and likes innovation. I was elected back in 2011, and I had never served as sheriff before. I retired from the Drug Enforcement Administration and worked in the private sector for a little bit. Had just moved to Loudoun County just about a year before, and decided when I found out that Loudoun County was a full-service sheriff's office that I'd be interested in running for sheriff. And so with only a year or so in the county, I went ahead and challenged a 16-year incumbent, and I was able to beat that incumbent pretty handily, actually. And it was apparent to me at that time that what I ran on was a program to improve service technology, efficiency, and professionalism, which was Step Up with Mike Chapman. And as part of that Step Up initiative, what we wanted to do was expand our connections, expand what we did, and try to grow as a sheriff's office, because I saw that Loudoun County was the largest full-service sheriff's office in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and yet you would have never known it. And they were not very well connected to outside agencies, and having come in from an outside agency and having been involved in many coalitions when it comes to law enforcement, I thought it would be good to become a member of the Major County Sheriff's Association. I started law enforcement in 1978. Okay, so I was I'm a pretty old guy. So I started, and the only equipment that we had was a nightstick and a radio and a flashlight, and your gun, of course. And so that was about it. I mean, we didn't have tasers, we didn't have pepper spray, we didn't have all these things. And I think the expectation at the time was they just wanted people that they knew could probably take care of themselves, and you didn't have. It just wasn't as sophisticated, the nature of the crimes, the ability to collect evidence. You didn't have video cameras everywhere. You didn't have iPhones to take pictures. There's so many things that you didn't have. So it's changed dramatically over the years. And I think what's happening is the job of law enforcement officers has become far more complex. I mean, it used to be you didn't call a police officer unless somebody's going to get arrested. I mean, it's like, you call the cops, somebody's going out in handcuffs. And that was pretty much the only time you would call the cops. And so when I look at now at how engaged we are in law enforcement, it's just so many things, and the expectations are so high. And I would say also the fact that everybody's got a video camera out there really puts us on the spot. And I mean, you can do things, the best you can in the circumstances. You have to make a split decision, an instant decision on a complex issue you're walking into with no warning whatsoever. But I would say that because now there's so much exposure, and it is dangerous, and police officers and deputies have become targets of people, that it's dangerous, and you're always under scrutiny. We want our children to see us as friends, to know that they've got a resource there, somebody they can talk to, can help them out, can kind of set them in the right direction so they don't get involved in a criminal justice system. So we're doing that, and then I think DARE is a good catalyst to try to teach children the dangers that they face out there. And I think that the key takeaway from DARE, and they'll learn about how cigarettes can hurt your health. They'll talk about, drugs and heroin and all kinds of stuff. They talk about all these different drugs. But the most important takeaway, I think, for the children when they're learning the DARE program is how to make good choices, you're faced with a situation and you can go one way or you can go another, and to try to get them to think in terms of going the right way, to surround themselves with good people, to make sure they're engaged in good activities, whether it's sports, whether it's academic activities, whatever the case is, to make sure that they're keeping busy with the right kind of stuff, not hanging on the street corner getting involved in drugs. Out of the 23 council of government areas that surround the Washington, D.C. area, we have the lowest or second lowest crime rate of everybody, and certainly the lowest crime rate in Northern Virginia. And I don't think that's by accident. I mean, we're in a wealthy community, we're in an educated community, but I also think that there's a lot of work that our deputies do, and whether it's their involvement in DARE, and whether it's the programs that they go out, and just all the community-based programs that we do, I think it has a huge impact on the community, and I think that's why we're having the success that we have.